Hello, we'll see the tessellation, which is basically the application of a pattern to a mesh faces, and we'll make using this technique this building here. So as you can see, this building is made of this subdiv shape, but we apply to it these four tessellation panels. So we start to see these 9 steps. First, as a setup, so we can enable and disable the overlays using, I'll enable the keys with Shift Alt Z to enable disable the overlays, and we can have this type of shaded viewport by going to this arrow and then choosing matcap and choosing one of these. The default is this one, matcap, and you choose whatever suits you here as a good shading. So let's start. So as you can see, we'll just follow these steps, and because this is a built-in scale, this small human here is provided as a scale measure. So I'll copy that human with this one, Shift D, Shift Z, and I'll drag it here, and I'll click right, Shift A, plane, to add a plane, then I'll scale it up 3 times or 10 times, 15 times, okay. And JZ, drag it a little bit, and then I follow exactly the same steps. So there's a subdivision here, a bevel of the edge in the middle, then I subdivided this edge and created this face split here, and then I extrude the middle part and I created an edge loop. So this is exactly what we'll be doing. So Shift D, Y, and let's do click right, subdivide, then in edge selection mode, Control Shift V, extrude this one. Then let's add another shape. To visualize the wireframe in the shading mode, just go to the overlays options and click on wireframe, and you can choose the opacity here. So again, Shift T, Y, and let's do the next step, which is cutting those edge selection mode, and I will all these edges here, and I will choose click right, subdivide. After subdividing, I will then use the knife tool, K, to join these, enter, then K, enter, then K again, enter, K, enter, and then I can, if I want to, I don't have to, but I can just select all of these F and have them combine in one. So next step is to extrude this, not extrude it, but just J, Z. I have the proportional editing enabled. I'll disable it. Press O to disable and enable the proportional editing. J, Z, and then Control R to add an edge loop and escape. Then I'll scale it with S a little bit. Let's go and see. In this one, we might have a couple of edge loops. So Shift T again, Y, create a new one, and then I press Control 3 to add a modifier of the third, like Control 2, 1, Control 1, 2, 3, and we can see that the level of the subdivision changes in the panel. So I choose 3 and click right and shade auto smooth. So to get the same shape here, we need to put it press 3 F selection and then JZ and then Control R, another edge loop, escape, scale in the middle here, and we create an opening here by edge vertice selection mode JZ and opening this here, and then there's two edge selection mode, Alt to select the whole edge loop, and then Shift E, and I will do 0.5 for the crease, Shift E for the crease. I can change also the crease from here. Item and change the crease 0.5 for these edges. Tab to go back, and this is kind of the final shape. Then I added a Shift A and then simple deform to twist the building, and then I check twist and angle 180 degrees. Not in the x-axis, in the z-axis. And then I have a simple twist with all these subdivision. So to display the actual subdivision, I'll do optimal display, but we have here a very, very small subdivision. So let's try to apply some panels. Let's create some panels and apply them. So we have the first panel is just, we'll use this one, easy to make. So uh, I also have to point, let's move this one, J, Shift Z, and J, Shift Z to move this to make it more appearing. J, Shift Z, move this one here, and J, Shift Z. Shift Z to constrain it to the plane, yeah. And Tab to go back to the edge mode. We can add some people for the scale, but since we started with a good scale, so this is the building scale. We'll move people later on. And let's create the panel. Shift right click here and Shift A to add in the cursor position a plane. Scale it up. JZ to move it up. And then tab to edit mode, and we'll do Control R for an edge loop. Escape, and we'll go to the settings and increase 2, 3, because we move 2 up, and then we'll select edge select mode, select this and this, J, Z, and up, and then we'll apply this to this one and see what's happening. So in a tissue add-on, so F3 preferences and have the tissue add-on enabled. Tissue and enable it. If it's not there, you can get it maybe from the extension. Tissue, you just have to install it and enable it, and press N to get to the tissue modifier. Then you click on the panel, and then you click on the building, and you just press tessellate, and you keep quads, relative, all of these. Okay, and now we have it on top of this one. We just press J, Y to move the tessellation mesh. So this is our tessellated mesh. We can press Alt Shift Z to remove the overlays so that we can see only what's happening. But as you see, the direction is not uniform. So to fix the direction, we will have to make it according to the UVs, the texture mapping UVs. How to do that? We click here, Shift Alt Z to go back to the wireframe mode. So I'll go to the options of the tessellation, which are there in data, and then go down here and choose the rotation to be following the active UV. So now, based on the UV orientation, we can orient or rotate this. How do we do it? We need the UV panel. We click here and we choose UV editor. So tab to edit mode. So each face will have its own UVs, but since now we don't have actual faces, so I will apply a first level of subdivision so that I can have faces to work with, because now I can only select the basic mesh, or I can just work with the basic mesh. I'll just disable this and I select all of them. This is just the mesh that controls the, oh, I need also to disable the simple deform. Now all of this, the idea is all of this, I select A, all faces, then U, and then I will reset all of the faces, then U, and follow active quads so that they will all follow the same UV direction of the selected one. Okay, no, 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 no one is selected, no face is selected. Click one, A, now all of them will follow this. U, follow active quads, okay. Now all of them, they follow the same one. They are adjacent to it. Tab to object mode. Now if I go to this tissue object and I click refresh, I should have this enable again the modifier, then refresh. We will see all of the faces having the same direction. If I want to rotate instead of being horizontal, I want it vertical. How I do? I go here, tab to edit mode, select everything, and I will go to the UV editor and I'll select again everything, R to rotate, and then I will type 90, which means rotate everything 90 degree. Then I will tab to object mode, go to the tessellation and then refresh, and the direction will be changed of the pattern that is applied. Shift Alt Z to remove the overlay so that we can see what's happening. As we can see here, we don't have this smoothness of the mesh. We can also fix this one if we want to have its own direction, but I skip it for now and I'll do it in the next step. So the next step is to actually have this subdivided and have it curved and have it following the curvature smoothly. So for this, I will create a new one, move it here. I'll duplicate this one and now we'll apply multiple pattern following the curvature. So we will have one subdivision for the curvature and one subdivision for the faces. So I'll explain it. So for this subdivision here, I would lower it. So if I lower this subdivision, I cannot have a curvature. If I want to have a curvature, I need a second subdivision and we will apply a different tessellation, not the quad tessellation we applied now. So in this second tessellation will be the curvature. So the first one is the size of the panels. The second one will be the curvature, how curved they are. So I'll keep this panelization and I will create like two shifty Y. Not this one, I just create a new one. Plane, scale, JZ, and I'll duplicate this one, Shift T, because I'll be making two panels. This one will be a diagonal one. So to make this diagonal one, I'll subdivide, then and subdivide. It will give me this one like that, and then subdivide this again, and then K to create this, Control, and then K to split with the knife tool this face also. Enter, and then I will all these faces, I will F join them, F join them, then I will move this, control everything, and then F3 limited dissolve to avoid any up. No, I shouldn't do that now. After I select these JZ, and then I select everything, and then limited dissolve because we have some split edges. We don't want them to be split, but this limited dissolve should be done after moving them up. And then I will have I'll keep this simple. I'll keep this one simple. So I will use this as a base. So this one will be the size of the faces where we have the patterns, and this second one is for the curvature, as we said. So now we need multiple materials. So first one will be the glazing, another one the border. I'll have material for border, and I will give it a color for everything, and then another material for main material. It will be maybe blue or yellow, another material for glazing or glass, and I make this one a blue, transparent, alpha, and that's it. Now we need to apply these materials, and I will apply this one so that I can select the faces. Apply this one, so the second one is for the curvature. Then here, tab, edit mode, and I will disable the mirror modifier in the edit mode, or I enable it here, and I'll enable this one as well. So this would be the border. We already have it, so let's just select this one and invert the selection with F3, and then apply the main material here, main, assign, and then have this as border again, assign, and have this as the glass, assign, and then tab out of the middle. We assigned all the materials. Now we need to apply the tessellation. So I'll apply this to this one here, and tissue again, tessellate, but this one we're not using quads, we're using patch. Patch, which means like the last subdivision is the curvature. Now JZ, we don't see the curvature, we will fix that. So click here in the options, as we did active UVs, material index, so that we'll select only one material. So let's have that one. I want to apply that one. Actually, I want to apply the diagonal one. So if I want to change the pattern, I just go here in the options, component mode, click here, click in this selection, and change it to the other one. And then I'll change the active UVs. The active UVs, I'll just shift them, and I have a very diagonal one. And because I don't have enough subdivision, that's why I don't have this. For the border, I want strips, so I will create this one and I will make it as strips. Control R, a loop cut, escape, Control R, tab, edit mode, Control R, one loop, escape, and then increase this. Then randomly select them, select faces. No, I will select those again, and then Control B, and I will add more subdivisions, and I will delete those X faces. Tab, edit mode. So for the border, I will use this one, so I can just select this one, Shift D, like this. So I have two overlaying, and I will change this component with this component here, and I will shift the material to which it's applied. It should be the border material, and not the UVs. It's the index of the material. Yeah, the border. Not the border, the next one, which is the border, previous one. Yeah, this one. And I have to shift the UV direction. Now I have them. We will fix the curvature in the subdivision here. Then I need the glazing. Maybe the glazing, I do this one. So select the pattern, select this, or I can just copy this one again. Shift T, and then instead of this component, I'll choose this one, and then I shift the material index to the glazing there. Okay, so now if I want the rotation, I can change it from here, either this one or this one. Let's keep this one. And then now for the curvature, I need to add a subdivision to those. So I can just add a subdivision to all of those, and this one already has a subdivision, so I'll add another one to this one. Control 3, and I make it simple. This one, Control 3, and I make it simple. Then I will update those three tessellations. Refresh, and I have the tessellation updated. This one, refresh. It didn't work. Because it's not enabled. Okay. Refresh. Now it's fine. Now we have the curvature. Perfect. So this one, for the border, I will add a thickness solidify modifier on top of the tessellation and give it a thickness. Make it 0 for the offset, and we have it Alt Shift Z, and we have our final tessellated mesh. So now any edits applied to this original mesh will also apply to this one. Alt Shift Z. If I take this mesh here and I edit, for instance, something here like these faces, Control, and I click Control and select next faces, and I move this up, Control Z, Z like this, tab, and I select all of these, refresh, it will change here as well. If I edit, for instance, I select this face and I will enable proportional editing. Oh, enable proportional editing from here. J, move the face here, and then tab out, and I will select these tessellation, refresh, everything will change accordingly to the original change. And if I change the material of these patterns, for instance, this pattern here, I make it glass, and I choose the glass material previously made, and I will refresh this, it will become glazed. If I want to apply the same, oh, I need to auto smooth, auto smooth, auto smooth, and when you go to the auto smooth, I'll ignore the, might add some subdivisions to this. Oh, is the merge was not set? Nice, we forgot the merge. We have to not forget the merge, and now it's good. Auto smooth, click right, auto smooth, and now it's smooth. If we want to apply a wireframe modifier or something else, we can do it from here, and we can apply a wireframe modifier, and we can also decimate the geometry before the wireframe modifier to get this organic look, and then after the wireframe modifier we can have a subdivision modifier, and then we get this organic look similar to what we have initially. So the building is not touching the ground here, we can fix it. Shift Alt Z, we can take this shape JZ and go there, tab, and then we can select all of these, refresh, and then it's fixed. For the people, we just Alt T all these people, get some of them, and again Alt T, Shift Z, move them here, and then Alt T, Shift Z, Alt T, Shift Z, Alt T, Shift Z. Don't worry about the position and randomness, it's not a problem. We fix it. Alt T, Shift Z, Alt T, Shift Z, Alt T, Shift Z, and then I select the final product and then Shift H to isolate them with Shift H, and then click one of them, Shift L object data for the linked, and then I will look for randomize transform, and I will randomize the location and randomize the rotation like this, 200 degrees. And that's it. We have them all randomized. We can Alt D all of this again, rotation Z, Alt D all of them to have a lot of people around. More people creates more believable scenes, and then Shift tilde key tab, and I will go back. This is the fly mode with the Shift tilde key, and I have my scene. Go back somewhere here. That's fine. And for more human experience, Alt T Z and bring one of them here. And here is your scene. Alt Shift Z, and here is your final scene with the tessellation. Good luck with it.